Welcome to ChessWhiz TV episode 371. I'm your host, The Wiz, and today we're going to play Atomic Chess again. I personally like Atomic Chess, which is why there's so many Atomic Chess episodes that have been occurring recently. Lower the microphone. And today I realized suddenly that I've been playing Atomic Chess all wrong. It turns out that there's this move that White can make and this other move, and he wins every time. He basically dominates the game. And I've been playing a lot of Atomic Chess like this. Let me show you. Okay, so I'm going to bring up a chessboard. Is that an atomic game? I'll just click that. And I start the game with e4, and that is a great way to get a feel for atomic chess because instead of learning a lot of weird opening tactics, you get used to, e3, that's even more interesting. You get used to the different dynamics of atomic without having to get into the nitty-gritty of the opening. However, what I've learned is this going to lose? Oh, it's so easy to lose in this. This is the way to play in this variant. What I've learned is there's actually a different move that totally makes you win. This move looks pretty good. Because I can blow up his bishop. So in atomic chess, you can just blow things up. Let's play knight here. I have to play this carefully, actually. So, of course, I'm focusing a little bit here. But we're going to start a new game with a different time control because 2 plus 2 is a stupid time control. But I would definitely recommend the e4 opening to when you're first starting atomic to really learn atomic before you have to memorize openings. But what happens, though, in atomic chess is White usually plays knight f3 as the first move. And I've recently learned why that is. It's because White wins every game with that move. That's the perfect opening in atomic. I challenge you to find any better move. There is no better move, so forget that challenge. Nah, I'm going to move here, I think. Because now I'm threatening to blow up his pawn, which blows up his king. Atomic chess is so great. I want that to be red. There we go. But when he moves the pawn, then I can take this, blowing up his knight. So overall, everything of his is blowing up, and that's pretty cool. I love it. I love it. Okay, so Atomic Master is his username, and he's not the master because I've just blown up his pieces and his pawns using only my pieces, so now I'm way ahead. I think b4 would be fun here. b5, I mean. A more simple c6 could also do the trick. Yeah, I guess I'll just play c6. You have to watch out for this kind of diagonal. Fortunately, I have the d-pawn that can still move out here. So now I'll play here, threatening to blow up his king. So he has to do something about that. And then f6 to keep the knight out. f6 is such a bad move in chess, right? F pawns, you should not move. That's why they're called f pawns. F for don't move this thing, F, because, I'll move it now. Because it actually exposes this diagonal. In chess, it's a bad idea. But in atomic chess, you have to make bad moves to survive. That's basically required in chess. Okay, so he's moving there. What if I play here, check? Is he just play d4 and save himself? What if I play my queen here? Can I just kind of weasel my way in like here, 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 here and blow him up? I think so. Oh, I have to be careful though, because his queen could win if I'm not careful. So I move here. He moves his pawn one square. I'll just blow up his queen. The fact is, I'm ahead by a lot of material right now because I have all my pawns. So I should just play safe and carefully and also safe. And that way I won't lose. And then later I'll win. It's actually a good rule of thumb in chess also. Like if you're ahead in material, trade. That's actually what just happened right here. Simplify the position. It makes it easier to win. If you go for complexity, like, oh, look at that cool attack. I'm going to move my things over there and then maybe I'll checkmate him. But maybe you won't, okay? Maybe you won't. And so you need to be watching out for that. I think I need to castle. There's a danger. Bishop h6. I blow myself up. It's a little scary. But I'm going to do it to it. 7 clicks. That means it's good. The reason I need to castle is this file could open up. You don't want your king across from that. I definitely can use that file if it opens. And if I push, he can blow up his pawn against my pawn here. And there it is. So now it's my chance to go, go, go. I think rook e8, taking that file, would actually be really powerful. I'm also thinking about this. You should always think about that when you're doing your thinking, is bishops out here, because sometimes it's super killer to do that. Look at that, though. He's losing another piece. Blow up your own knight, man, is your only choice. Okay, so he has almost nothing left. I love winning. This is great. This is pretty cool technique for him, though. He can actually move his bishop to b8, trapping my object out of the object. My rook can't get into the game, so that'd be pretty good for him. Fortunately, my bishop can block this file. What is he doing? I'll just let that sit there. Of course, I don't want to blow that up because it would kill my own bishop, but this file is really dangerous. That's the last one thing I really have to worry about. Let's go here. Is his rook coming in like this check? Because then I'd force up here and then check, and then he'd blow himself up on this pawn. Boom! I love red circles. So you got to watch out for that, but fortunately, bishop e2 blocks all that off, and I have a pretty simple win here. So atomic master is not the master. This is a really common technique, by the way. You see the rook going down to the 7th rank, because whoever blows himself up wastes a move because he blew himself up and so did the opponent also blow himself up. And that's a waste of a move. I have a lot of extra pieces on the board and there's no danger for me here. So he might as well resign. I can play as crazily, slowly, quickly as I want. Not too slowly, of course. I could just run out of time. But what I mean is I could really focus on, let's just lose the bishop. I'm just going to focus on the promotion here. And I have more objects. In atomic chess, sometimes it doesn't really matter what's on the board. It just matters that you have more of them. And in this case, I have 3 pawns against 1. So I don't care if I have a bishop or a rook or a knight. I just want one thing because you can't trade in this game. There, oh, there with my knight. I don't care. You cannot take something without blowing yourself up. It's like a suicide bomber's picnic. So all you can do is have more things so that when you trade, you still have more things. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. His best bet, of course, is going to be to hug me. He's going to try to hug me. I think he should, because once you're next to the enemy king, you can annoy him, but even that will not be effective. There's 2 reasons it's not here. The first is, if you get enough queens, you can just win, right? Maybe I'll just demonstrate that today. Like, how many queens does it take to win? You have to be careful, though, because you could accidentally stalemate him. This is very, very delicate, because you don't want to stalemate the opponent. Actually, I don't think I... Yeah, this is how it works. Okay, so see I have so many queens? I can't blow up his king, it would blow up my king, but this move forces him out. So if you ever have 2 queens, by the way, that's enough queens to win. You can simply put your king in the corner and the 2 queens like this, and then force him away from your king. So 2 queens is enough to win. That's your rule of thumb. It applies to most chess variants. You're ahead by 2 queens, you can win. Thank you for the game, Atomic Master. We now have a challenge from Tom's. Hello, Tom's. Good luck. He's not the world's best atomic player, but he is an atomic player, so that's going to be good enough. So you can see me playing f6 here. Such a weak move in chess, but black has to play it. It's actually bad in atomic chess too. Like, why would you even want to move this pawn? But there's a key reason that in atomic, f6 makes sense, besides the fact that otherwise you'll die. This is forced, by the way, knight h6 here, because this move is very deadly, and this move stops him from moving there. The reason it's good is because if something captures next to your king, you blow up. It's that bad. And so, I see a c6 best here. What if I play here, threatening this? He moves it, and then here, threatening that, and he loses. Okay, let's do that. Good game, Toms. It's so easy to lose this variant, so easy. By moving away from my own king, no longer will my king explode if this pawn is taken. And that's actually a very common defensive technique for black, and for white, I suppose, is to move things away from the king, just get things out of the way from the king, so that when they're captured, the king doesn't blow up. And that's why f6 makes so much sense, besides the fact that also it keeps the knight out of the way. So I'm going to create an atomic game here. Time control 1 minute per side, increment 4 seconds. For those of you who know me well, you know that I love to eat bananas for breakfast. I'm just kidding. None of you know that, except for now. All of you know that. What I meant to say was, you know I love 1 minutes with 4 second increment. It's my favorite time control. Favorite time control. Oh, I'm black again. Okay, so f6, forced, preventing the knight from coming down here and blowing itself up. E3. Now, E6 is the most common reply here, and I'm just learning these openings for the first time because, like I said, I've been enjoying E4 for my entire life. So E6 is my move here. The knight comes over. C6. Now, I've seen a lot of B5, but it's not that good. So I'm going to play C6. I'm going to share with you this opening that's bad for black, just because it's an important opening to know in atomic. These are all forced moves, relatively forced. There's a lot of things black can try, but they're also bad for black. And what I've discovered is this is bad for black too. And so the result is that nobody wants to play as black in atomic. That's the result. It's like black, it's horrible to be black, because here's the next move, is this move. And then the bishop comes down here attacking the king. This is going to blow up my king when he takes this. So my king has to but then he can blow himself up there, and then I can blow myself up there. This position is not entirely forced because there's a lot of other bad things black can try, but black can end up here. And this is a position that you would do well to understand as an atomic player. Black has an extra piece, he's got an extra knight, but he's down 2 pawns. And that's actually behind because 2 things is better than 1 in atomic. So it's actually bad to be black here, even though you're ahead a piece for 2 pawns, because you're down a piece for 2 pawns. And this opening, or rather this position, is all about, let's see, I think the best location might be here. It's all about drawing as black, unfortunately, because I don't want to draw with this guy. He's rated only 1901. That's so long ago. They didn't even have television back then. And so why would I want to draw? But the fact is, if you don't draw, you lose. It's very difficult to win this as black. But what I'm going to try to do is draw. And here's my plan. Check him until he says, okay, it's a draw. That's actually how you do it. You still have a rook on the board. That is key with the rule. How do I not? Oh, I don't want to lose my knight for a pawn. So I'll move it here maybe. Oh, then I have to deal with this, which would be a winning move for him, I think. Let's go here. This might be okay now if he plays rook a8, because I could play king here, and he checks me, and then king here, and then maybe I have enough room to breathe. Man, this is going to open up over here. So I'm going to just be okay with that. I probably should have pushed my pawn. Let's do it now. Okay, he blows himself up. So my rook is trapped out. Oh, this could work. Oh man, I'm so glad he didn't play some of the moves that were activating his rook like this. I think I would have lost that because his rook would get next to my king and then blow itself up in my face. Let's go here and just make all these pawns straight away. So I think this is going to be a draw, I think, because if he ever moves this pawn, then I can check him forever like this. There is a weird, I'll take this, a weird strategy for white, since white is still ahead of pawn here, where white moves his king next to my king. Kings are useless in this variant. They can't capture anything because they would blow themselves up trying. He moves his king next to my king, and then I can't continuously check him. But I actually think this is a draw, and I'm going to test my theory. Here's the idea. His best bet, of course, is to blow up his rook on my pawn so that he can promote to a queen. But remember earlier in the episode when I said that bishops are diagonally moving pieces? I guess I didn't tell you that. Well, news for you. Here's some news. Oh no, I do lose this. I shouldn't have blown up my rook so quick. He's being smart. He's going to drag me through like this. And then when his king moves here, I'm going to have to follow him, and then he'll take this and blow me up. So that's not good, so I'll just go the other way. Nope, then he'll trap me out like this. Well, let's see if it works. Because he might just end up stalemating me, right? My king here, his rook here. Oh no, I can't move. It's a so bada. What will I do? Nothing. And then it's a draw. So let's see what he can do. So I think if he blows up his rook into my pawn and promotes, he'll have 1 queen. So what I was trying to say was, remember what I said? With 2 queens is plenty of queens to win? Uh-oh. He can win this. All he has to do is get his king really far away from my pawn. I was an idiot for giving up my rook. And then, maybe he doesn't know though. Maybe he's not watching. Maybe he's not watching the show. I'll offer him a draw. Draw? Draw offer sent. Draw offer sent? Yeah, he declines. So he blows himself up over there, and I can't get over to his king in time, so I lose. And that's bad. So I mentioned that 2 queens is enough to win, but if the kings aren't near each other, then you're dead. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So I should have kept my rook around. That would have been like 100% smarter. So I've always played e4, and I actually really recommend this opening for people who want to become more experienced in atomic. But if you want to just win, knight f3 is the move. And that main opening line that I showed you, where and then it's a piece for 2 pawns, that is the main line of how it ends up. But there's a lot of other ways things can go. So this is my advice for you. If you're watching this and want to play well at atomic, you should play this as white because it just wins. So against b5, which is what I talked about, the best move is this move. Very surprising move because it looks like it can be taken, but there's danger over here. You block this one. I think I could have blown myself up over there too. So then you go, I think this is the best move. I'm going to blow myself up because I just became up a pawn. So in a lot of these lines, black avoids the opening we just saw in the last game by losing a pawn, basically. Like, for example, there's a very simple line where, in fact, it's similar to this, where the knight comes down here, and then the pawn is ready to take it, but black's bishop is here. So this capture blows up the knight and pawn. I'm wasting your time. You don't know what I'm saying. Let's see if I can just win this now. So here, and then here, and then yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, white wins. And you have to be okay with being up a pawn. So being ahead a pawn is not, it's not super simple to win in Atomic when you're ahead a pawn, but it's not super hard either. Boom! So I consider that to be a win. And there's another challenge. This one's from Tom's. I'm going to let's close this and play another game with Tom's. And then if you guys want to play Atomic, this is your chance to play while I'm playing the super best moves in the world. You should throw me a challenge at lichess.org. That's lichess.org/ @ ChessWhiz. That's actually where how you get to the user accounts. Like if I look at my profile here, by the way, I just want to do this to show you all my trophies. Wow, there's a lot of trophies up there. It's a big white screen of trophies. Oh, you can't see my trophies. Well, just imagine a ton of trophies up there. There's like an array of them. Of course, there's no elements in the array, but forget about that. So that profile page is /@ and then your username. If you memorize that, your life is pretty nifty. I think D5 is good. No, C6. No, D. The problem I have with positions like this where I don't exactly know the right move is that I always want to push these center pawns 2 squares because you can take a lot more space that way. So I'm like, yes, push my pawn 2 squares. It's like twice as many squares as the alternative. It's really good. The problem is it's bad often because you need them here and here as black to keep enemy queens from checkmating you. So what if I play this? He plays his knight here. I blow myself up in red. And then he plays his other knight here in blue. Oh, and then the critical moment where he then goes here check and I'm doing awful. So I'm going to play this move. Yeah, you actually end up doing this a lot where you're like, I really need to guard b5. It's a weakness. And so as black, look at my position. Can you imagine playing chess? You're like, okay, I got the perfect opening. The opening is I'm going to play f6 and c6 and a6, and you're going to resign. It's so good. Oh yeah, knight h6, the perfect killer move. Yeah, atomic chess is pretty weird. So I think b6 now. Yeah, look at those pawns. They're so powerful. If I move all my pawns up here, he's probably just going to resign. It's such a killer threat. So good. So there's a question in the chat. So I'll go ahead and answer that. It says, aliens take the queen. Oh, I guess that's not a question. Program Fox is in the chat. He actually came on the show one time. If you're go to the YouTube channel and search for Program Fox, you can find the episode where he came on as a guest. Then you can learn more about him, like the fact that he speaks English. He says, if you're asking why everyone plays that opening is white, you'll probably lose your phone. He said, hold on. Ooh. There's me trying to take a big center. If you're asking why everyone plays that opening as white, it's probably because it's good for white. But why does everyone play it as black? It's probably because they don't know an alternative. So I would be really interested if you're watching this and you're a pro atomic player, and by pro, I mean, whoa, I'm almost out of time. You should comment in the chat or in the YouTube comments below the video, type in what your favorite counter is to knight f3, e3, knight d4, knight b5, queen h5, queen b5 check. It's, oh no, because it's, there goes my queen. It's oh, this is bad because this diagonal is open, and how am I going to prevent the enemy queen from going over here and visiting me? The only safety I have right now is the small number next to his name. It's 1409. That is what's keeping me alive right now. 1409. Yes, I can survive against 1409. Lose my knight is part of my plan. Then this move. He blew up his queen. I'm alive. I think I'm alive, so that's really good. I love being alive. His bishops are so super deadly. I'll go here. I think that might be okay. I'm really low on time, so I'm just struggling to even survive still, but the pawn stops him from coming this way. And I can check him next, which could complicate matters. I really wanted to play g5 there, but I was worried about enemy moves. So I'm going to play here. Because, of course, that's a pretty scary threat. Still alive. Oh, man, Toms. I'm so glad you traded your queen for my bishop, though. That was my favorite move you made. I'll play here. Ah. 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 I'm doing it. Oh, no. This is really bad for me. But... yeah, those enemy rooks, they're pretty enemy-like. Oh, I'm dead now. Here, check. Oh, he's so kind. Toms, you are the friendliest man on the planet. What am I, ahead of pawn now? Wow, Toms, so appreciative. So, by the way, he did have a checkmate, I think. But I win this now with blowing up this pawn, which blows up his rook. That was close. So in this position, back here, I have 18 seconds, so now I can do this because there's an increment. So he plays check right here. My king only has these options. Then he plays check right here. My king has to play up or up. And then he plays check here, checking my king in one of these squares. Then he takes the thing behind it, and he wins. So he definitely had a checkmate there. But fortunately for me, I can now get 2 queens. Remember how we calculated how you can win with 2 queens? That'll be no problem at all. I also have a pair of pawns on the board, and this is another important endgame thing. If you're winning, keep a pair of pawns on the board like this. Like, look what I'm doing here, keeping these pawns here. It makes it so much easier to win when those pawns are there, because you can blow them up, which is like the whole theme of the game. Seriously though, that actually is wise. So now I'm going to win in the new way, which is to blow up the enemy king on his own pawn. So I'll make a new queen just to get this pawn out of the way, and then we will go on an adventure together. Here we go. King going toward the pawn. Come with me. It will be fun for me. Come closer so I can take a bite. So I'm near his pawn. Now I want to blow up his pawn. Let's put my queen. I'm going to do this with just one queen because I want to demonstrate that it's possible without the second queen. Kind of because I just want to know for my own benefit. So this pair of pawns is helping me to block up the board so that he has less room to move around. So he wants to stay next to my king, because if he wanders away, then I can checkmate with just the queen. So now I pull him through. This is like threading the needle here. I'm going to make him follow my king through the danger zone. And what's going to happen is he'll blow up. So he moves here. I go here. He moves here. And when he's on this square and my king is on this square, then I can take this, blowing up his king. Did that make sense? Good, because I'm checkmating him right now. Checkmate. And if I didn't have that queen, I would just checkmate him in the next move. So you can win with one queen if there's a pair of pawns on the board. So that's your rule of thumb there. We've got a challenge from Quickburger and a challenge from S. Michaels. I'm going to take the time to play with both of you guys. Smickles first. Michels. This will be great. I'm black again. Knight of 3, knight c3, knight f6. This is actually my best response now. I used to play c6. I'm less of a fan of that. Knight f6 is better. By the way, have you guys noticed how much more I know about Atomic than I used to? If you go back to my first Atomic episode, I'm like, how do you play this? I bet this will be good. Boom! And then I blow up, right? Myself. I blew up myself. I've learned so much about Atomic. Do you guys want to know the secret to learning? Watch me lose in 2 moves. Wait, that is a losing move. I think. Oh, this is very dangerous because he could come in here. The secret to learning is, you would think practice, right? It's not practice. Yeah, the stream is laggy for me too, Frostbite. Don't worry about it. Practice is not the secret. Oh, okay, so don't lose. Oh man, he can win now with this move. So this I just lost to a 1300. Of course, that's my secret superpower. Don't move 96. Smickles, turn down your volume. You don't want to know about that move. It's a really bad one. That's kind of homosexual. I won't do that anymore. The secret to learning is playing against better players because they find new ways to defeat you. For example, he would have defeated me here, and then I would learn never to do that again. That's a great example, isn't it? I'm going to block that with this move. Ooh, probably should have just taken this, blowing up my own knight. Better safe than sorry. Oh, he's out of time too. Well, that was embarrassing. He should have played 96, threatening this and this. I can't move both, and then he would blow up one, blowing up my king. That's what should have happened. Let's take the other challenger. Quick Burger. Quick Burger. The secret to improving is playing people who are a little better than you. 100 to 200 points higher is what I would recommend. Not 1,000 points higher, which is why it's tough to play against Stockfish level 8 because it's like infinity mode. Play against people who are a little better because what they do is they beat you in new and novel ways that you can understand, as opposed to just being blindsided with the trout, which is less pleasant. So that's what I recommend. What happens though, of course, is that you start to improve, and then you need to find new opponents. Do not play the same opponents over the course of your entire life, because you won't improve past their skill very much. Maybe you'll meet their skill, maybe you'll become slightly better, but you won't become way better. I think H3 is fine here. The other thing you can do, and I really, really recommend this, is after every game, go to the analysis board and look at your opening, especially in Atomic Chess, and look at the opening explorer. This site has an fantastic, is that a word? I'm dying here. I'll play this. This site has a fantastic opening explorer. This is good for white. How do I win? Is it this square, then this square, or is it this square and then this square? I have to hold my chin on. It's going to fall off my face. This isn't right. I was going to blow up myself here, but then this move, I have to play here, and then this move, and he's going to come in here, and I lose. Why didn't I just win that instantly? I'm so confused. So this is a great example. Why didn't I win instantly? I made a huge mistake here. The way you can tell is I'm the white player, and I haven't won yet. I'm still playing. And so after this game, we're going to go to the opening exploder, and we're going to explode this opening and find out what we did wrong. And that's going to be the end of the episode. So if you don't want to see that, turn it off right now. However, you should first go to the website, ChessWhiz.tv, and find out what's coming up next. But I'll give you a sneak peek, which is me telling you what's coming up next. It's a pretty good peek, huh? I'm going to play this move, actually, because I want to put the bishop there, blowing up the knight. The sneak peek is, oh, something on my watch. A message from Twitch. Malfunctioning typer is now following you on Twitch. Well, that's okay. I don't mind that. Let's push here. Shouldn't that be malfunctioning typist? What's coming up next is we're going to play a game of chess, a slower game of chess next episode, and I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to play a game in 15, a little bit more time on each side. We're going to play against a decent opponent as opposed to me. We're not going to play against me. I'd be a horrible opponent. And we're going to talk about the thinking processes behind the moves. A lot like what we've done today. We've covered so much material in Atomic Chess. Bishops, queens, knights, so much material. What about this move? Check it out. Check it out right here. Ooh, yeah. I think you could really learn a lot from this episode. Like, you could learn that Atomic is really bad, and never play it. That's something you could learn. Check this out. Just check it out. Check it with your bishop. So I went out to a restaurant last night. You may have heard of this restaurant. It's called Red Robin. They like sell burgers, and they're not cheap burgers. I mean, it's not like a fast food. I mean, you sit down, they bring you your burger. The burgers are like dollars, like $12 for one burger. So that's pretty serious beeswax. For my European friends, that would be like about 12 euros. That math isn't always easy. I'll blow this up right here and see how it goes. And I sit down, and they're like, "I'd like to buy a burger, please." And I picked a burger from the menu that I've had before. It's very delicious. So I'm like, that one right there. And they wrote it down on their little writer pad, and then they said that'll be right up. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited for 30 minutes. I waited, which is longer than it should be. And then I asked them, is that burger coming, or is there like a problem or something? And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's on the way. We're just we're a little slow with our cooking. I don't know what the problem is." Yeah, they said they were a little understaffed, which is possibly true because today is Independence Day in the United States, and I'm in the United States, so maybe they're understaffed because all their cooks are off celebrating, blowing things up. It's quite possible. Was that my last rook? I'm a little disappointed if that's my last rook. Phew, save my rook. So what are we looking at here? He has an extra rook and an extra knight. How did he win all that stuff? What happened? He got ahead one thing there. And so he's ahead by one thing, at least. This is serious. He's going to checkmate me too, which is, I don't like being checkmated. So I waited longer, and I waited longer, and I waited longer, like 45 minutes. Finally, I'm like, I wonder how long I've been waiting. So I looked at a receipt from a place I had just come from. Sure enough, I'd been waiting a long time. So finally, I'm like, you know what I should do? I should just tell him that I don't want the burger because I needed to go. I didn't have time to wait any longer. So I'm about to get up when they bring this burger to me. So perfect, I say. I'm about to get checkmated. This is so awful. This is so awful. Watch this show to learn not what to do, what not to do. Just learn something. And learn it fast. Let's blow up my bishop and promote as quick as I can. Quick before I get checkmated. Help. Help. No. Ah, I'll just push anyway. If I'm a check, I don't care. And they bring this burger and I'm like, oh, cool. There's like deep fried things in it. I didn't even think there would be. So I'm like, what is this? And it's like this big deep fried thing. So I'm like, it's in the burger. There's like 10 of them. So I eat one. Go. Don't lose. Don't lose, ChessWhiz. And I'm like, what is this thing? And there's some red poking out. I thought it was shrimp. I thought they put shrimp on my burger. Now, I didn't order a shrimp burger, so that was pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, free shrimp. So I'm eating through this thing, and I eat the whole thing, and then wait a minute, my mouth is on fire. I am guzzling my water. It turns out it's super hot pepper, deep fried super hot pepper in my burger, which isn't the best thing. It's like a bad thing. Quick Burger, what are you doing? I'm reminded of this story because his name's got burger in it. I'm going to add him time because I'm embarrassing him with my, I win. Quick Burger, you are the quick loser today. So then I'm like, well, I can just pick those out. So I take them all out and then I'm like, oh, there's some delicious green pepper in this burger. So I'm nibbling on the green pepper thinking, let's make sure that this is a good ingredient. He proposes a take back. No, I'm beating you, Quick Burger. Here's some more time so you can wallow in your agony. And it was not green pepper. It was jalapeno pepper, which is super spicy combined with the other fried burger as well, fried spice. It turns out this, and so I'm like, I open up the burger and what is it? The bun is burned. It's like black inside. It shouldn't be. And then there's like deep fried peppers and then jalapeno peppers. And then there's my meat and then there's my bun and there's a little cheese in there too. It was like the world's spiciest burger is what they served me, which was so interesting that I thought I would tell you. So let's learn from this opening. Why did it go so badly? We'll find out right now. So this is what I highly recommend for you guys is to find this out. I know the stream might become super choppy right now, but it's worth the risk. So knight h6, it's going to tell me the best move. Knight b5. I didn't play knight b5. Instead, I played h3. And then you can also see on the screen, if you look up there, see what is the three dots? See right there? You know what it's doing right now? It's telling me if this was stupid or not. It's taking a long time because it's also processing my video. It's taking way longer than I expected. Oh, there it is. See, 0. 0 means, oh, now white's starting to get an advantage. 1.3 advantage, 1 advantage. That's 1 pawn's worth of advantage. Oh, less than 1. But if we go back here, 4 pawns advantage. So what we learned is I should have played knight b5. It was way smarter. And then if he played knight here, I could just play f5, so f4. So that is the way you win. And that is what I highly recommend doing. So you can actually crank this opening to perfection just by memorizing all the moves. So we're going to go back to the position so that the video can recover. So what we've learned here is if they play knight h6, you should play this, and then against knight g4, you play f4. And each time you play a game, go into the opening exploder, learn what you did wrong, and then play better next game, because eventually you will become the world's best atomic player, which is the goal of life. So I'm glad you enjoyed the show, because you did. This has been ChessWhiz TV.